Welcome again, everybody, to another episode of Cowboys Overtime here on StarTelegram.com, brought to you by our good friends at Window Nation. I am Fort Worth Star Telegram columnist Mac Engel. He is Mr. Clarence E. Hill Jr., knower of all things, not just Cowboys, everything. Clarence went out to Los Angeles over the weekend where a miracle happened. Cowboys win. Let's get the parade started. Cowboys beat consistently the most underperforming team in the NFL, otherwise known as the Los Angeles Chargers, which should be in San Diego. That's another topic. Cowboys win 20-17, a morale-saving victory, because had the Cowboys lost this game, they would have gone into the bye week on a rather disgusting two-game losing streak, having lost at San Francisco and at Los Angeles. However, these things have changed. Cowboys rallied to win to beat their old good friend Kellen Moore 20-17. Clarence, Dak Prescott said it after the game. This feels a lot better at 4-2 and 3-3. What do you make of this team? And they look so good in wins against, the new teams, the Jets, the Giants, the Patriots. They look so bad against the 49ers. They were half asleep against the Cardinals. They play okay against the Chargers. Do you have any idea what we should make of this team at this point?
No, I think that's something that Mike McCarthy talked about, is them getting off this roller coaster, because they had those, obviously when they won big, and when they lost by double digits. And so, this was really the first close, nip and tuck, grimy game they had, and it was good to come out on top. I mean, you can say what you want about the Chargers being underachieving. They do have a top 5 quarterback allegedly. They were coming off a bye. They're 2-2. They did have motivation. Just Simi Fioco said that Kellen Moore wanted to score 100 on the Cowboys, so there was some motivation. That whole week and a half to prepare. The Cowboys coming off that emotional loss. It was a very good win. It was a morale boosting win. It was a must win. I asked Dak after the game, and he used pejoratives and curse words. Say, yeah, it was a must win. And I felt it was a must win. And I don't think we give Mike McCarthy enough credit. We certainly give him a lot of blame and call him buffoon and everything else about his offense. But this team is 10-1 now after losses, going back to the start of the 2021 season. And so that says something about Mike McCarthy. I mean, I don't think no team has a better record after losses than the Cowboys. No back-to-back losses. But I thought there was a potential for the 49ers loss to beat them twice, because they put so much into it before the game. And it was so motivational, and we're going to beat them, and we're going to measure up to them, and we have been pissed off, and we're motivated and been thinking about them all offseason. And to put all that into that game, and to lose 42-10, as Dak asked Dak after that game, it can be demoralizing, and it could spiral down if they don't put a handle on it. And so it was a must win for the Cowboys, because of that loss. You got the bye week coming up. There's no telling, this place would be going crazy if they lost to the Chargers in 2 straight losses in a bye week. And that's all we have to talk about. Obviously the Rangers have saved us and give us something else to talk about, but it'd have been crazy right now. So yeah, it was a must win. It was a good win, and it was a good win. They won the way they won. They won making plays and making a drive on offense, and the defense standing up and making a stand. They needed that type of win.
Clarence, we've seen, we're seeing so far with a roller coaster team, and it's obviously a 3-point league. No team can finish 500 now, because it's an odd schedule. You got 17 as opposed to 16 games. But are we looking at a team that is really a 500 team but could finish with 10, 11 wins? Or do you think they're markedly better than the league standard of 500?
I mean, they've been better. They've been 12-5 each of the last 2 years.
It was last year. I'm talking about now.
I know. I'm just saying they've been better than. I mean, I think they're a contending team. I mean, I don't know why. They're. I mean, you look at the NFC, and they're one of the top teams in the NFC. Certainly, they had that ugly loss, but they're one of the top teams in the NFC. I mean, they're the Eagles, the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Lions. The Seattle was pretty good, but those are the top teams. Those are the teams that are above average consistently last couple of years, certainly this year, and you look at the record. So, I mean, I think they're more than a 500 team, but it's a week to week league. I tell people
That's true.
it's hard to win in this league. It is why most games are one score games, more games 3-point games. You don't really see a lot of blowouts. And, we go back. I remember when the Dolphins scored 70 on Denver. Then the next week they gave up 50 and only scored 20 and lose to Buffalo. And Buffalo's not been great, but it's a week to week league. And we saw that last Sunday. I think the Cowboys, and they don't want to admit it, they got a real shot in the arm playing Monday night and watching the 49ers lose, watching the Eagles lose.
Oh, yeah.
That validated to them that was a bad day at the office. And I think it's true. What happened, and like I said, I was telling some friends the other day, I've many times gone to the Red River Showdown and seen a Mac Brown led Texas team with 100 All-Americans get blown out. And then they come back and they win every other game on the schedule. They're 10-1, 11-1 going to, the Sugar Bowl, but they got this 65-7 pacing by OU, and OU is not that much better than them. It's just it was a thing to spiral. And I think that's more about what happened last Sunday. The 49ers are not 42-10. They're better. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
They've been better. They're not 42-10.
I totally agree.
They're not 42-10 better.
Probably, if you could play that game again, if you put everything in the blender and you put the game back in Santa Clara, that's probably San Francisco is probably a 3 to 6 point consistent.
What they've been the last 2 years. They've been one score games, been 6 point games. 5-6 point games. That's what it is, and that's who it is. So I think it was good for the Cowboys to see that, see them lose, see the Eagles lose, see that hey, this is happening to everybody. Now let's go back and win. Let's go win this game and get our season back on track. And I think the Dak said after the game, the Chargers game allowed them to bury and really move on for the 49ers game, because if you lose, you're not moving on from the 49ers.
No,
you're not moving on.
You're swimming in it for 2 weeks.
This allowed them to move on from that performance.
Clarence, this week, Mike McCarthy, who has been around, I would say two of the most polarizing, interesting, followed quarterbacks in the last 20 years in Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers, Dr. Aaron Rodgers, I might add.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know, right? He admitted what we have known for a while now, which is no quarterback in the NFL is more scrutinized, examined, whatever you want to call it, than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott this season is completing 69.5% of his throws for 1,300 yards and change, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The reality of it is there is the Dak Prescott standard, and then there's the everybody else standard. Do you really think this is new to Mike, or he's just acknowledging, because he's been in the NFL for a long time now? He's only been the Cowboys coach since 2020. But do you think this is now just dawning on him, or he's just saying it as a means to sort of stand by his
No, I don't think it's any of that. I just think that he was answering the question honestly as he could.
What was the question? Well, I'm curious. I didn't hear I just heard the soundbite. What was the question, Clarence?
It was just somebody was asking about what Dak has to deal with. It was on Sirius NFL Radio, and he was just talking about that. And I think he's right.
He is right.
And everybody said, well, Tony Romo went through the same thing. No, not really. Because the media is different now. And even
more of it.
2016, there's way more of it. Social media is so different now. And Tony Romo was, again, very popular, most Googled quarterback back in 2006, because that was the thing, most Googled quarterback.
Yep.
He was the most Googled football player back in 2006. And certainly, he got attention. Certainly, the buzzsaw was on him being the Cowboys quarterback. But the fervor of media, the fervor of social media is so much different even now than it was then with Tony Romo. And certainly when Mike talked about Dak is the most scrutinized quarterback he's ever been around, he's going back to, I was around Joe Montana. I was around Brett Favre. I've been around Aaron Rodgers. And and especially in Dallas, it is mind-boggling. And it's funny because it's like a media member got mad at me. ESPN media member got mad at me because they made a statement yesterday because everybody wants to go back at Micah Because Michael complained about how the media is treating Dak and treating the Cowboys.
Are you talking about Manny Acho?
Yeah, well, no, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about somebody on ESPN. But
okay.
but yes. So it's the same thing with Manny Acho, but he's just talking about how no one gets the same attention, same energy when they lose the way the Cowboys get it. And he's right. And someone pointed out, someone on ESPN said that, well, the Cowboys get more attention because they have the star. And I'm saying, why would the media give the Cowboys more scrutiny and attention because of the star? I can understand fans maybe, but when a media is logically, our job as journalists is to logically analyze the play, not the star. You're supposed to analyze what you see, and they also said that the Cowboys have more expectations because they have the star. And why do the Cowboys have more expectations from the media? Not their own fan base, not Jerry Jones, but why should the Cowboys have more expectations from the media? I know I've covered the Cowboys since 1997. I've never picked the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. I've never put them on the pedestal. This team is going to win the Super Bowl. Okay.
No, I'll give you credit here. Because I remember when you and I were covering the team together in 2007. That was the Wade Phillips first season. They were 13-3. They were the best team in the NFC.
Right.
And you said going into that playoff run that they were going to. I remember you said they were going to lose to the Giants, and I was like, no, they're not. They're better. They beat the Giants twice that season. And because I remember New York members of the media really thought they were getting ready to roll because they had played the Patriots. That was the undefeated Patriots team. They had played the Patriots close in the season finale. And you didn't like the way Dallas was playing there at the end because they clearly had checked out under Wade. Wade just didn't have it in him to put the gas pedal down. And you called it. You said they were going to lose that game. Sure enough, they went out. Which is probably their most infamous loss in this century.
And so this notion that the media always says this is the Cowboys' year. I've covered the Cowboys. I've never said this is the Cowboys' year. So this whole every year y'all said the Cow, y'all put them on this pedestal and get them knocked down. But I guess my overall point is it's most of the attention given to Dak. It's not about journalism, it's about entertainment. We know that we talk about the Cowboys, we talk about Dak. It's going to get click. It's going to get engagement. It's not about being fair about this assessment and a fair assessment of everybody's performance. I mean, case in point, we go back to the Chargers and the Chargers quarterback has done nothing.
Nothing. Boy, he looks good throwing the ball.
He's a top 5 pick. He looks like, you build a quarterback, build a quarterback out the lab. He has the size, he has the arm, playoff success, nothing. Late games in the fourth quarter, he's thrown more interceptions in the fourth quarter with the game in the balance in a one-score game than any quarterback since he come in the league. If that had been Dak Prescott,
he'd be killed. Well, I mean, Dak has been killed for those games,
right? But I'm just saying. But I'm just saying they don't. You don't see every
because nobody cares about the Chargers
making a segment, a hot takes about it,
because
like they did with the Cowboys. And
the Chargers are an irrelevant team. They never did.
I understand. But
Clarence, here we get to. We're going to go to break here after a second. Here's a problem, and this is an industry problem. I mean, ultimately, the industry problem is that we're hailed as the fourth estate, journalism, media, but really, what we are is no different than Best Buy. So, and now more than ever, we've got to go where the consumers are. We've got to go where the customers are. Where are the customers? Customers love the Cowboys. Look at the ratings. Chris Collins.
There's no doubt. I don't have a problem with the attention. I have a problem with the analysis based on the attention.
Oh, I don't blame you. I'm not saying you're wrong.
And say Dak is trash because
not trash.
They get more attention and not just analyze how is he playing compared to other guys. That's my issue.
And I think that's a fair and valid issue. Here's the truth. Dak's pretty good. Dak is good.
He's been good. He's not Tom Brady, but he's a good quarterback.
No, there's an echelon of quarterbacks that you would say, it's Patrick Mahomes. If you want to throw a couple other guys in there, go ahead.
And we don't know who those other guys are.
No, I don't think we can say that. I love Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's great. And I would pick Joe Burrow over Dak Prescott. But Joe Burrow, he's beaten Mahomes 3 times out of 4.
Yeah, and you know who he lost to?
Patrick Mahomes and Matt Stafford.
He lost to Dak's backup.
That's true. Yeah. No, he did. That's true. He lost to Cooper Rush. You know what? But you know what, Clarence? Everybody lost to Cooper Rush. Okay, we're going to take a break. We've got more to talk about here on Cowboys Overtime. But first, A word from Window Nation.
Window Nation, the star of window replacement and the official window replacement partner of the Dallas Cowboys, can help you fill the house this season with savings. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and put no money down. Make no payments and pay no interest for 2 years. Fill your house for a customized, authentic Dallas Cowboys jersey while supplies last. You could even help fill the Cowboys house and win tickets to a game. Call 866-95-NATION or visit windownation.com/Cowboys now for details. Window Nation, proud partner of your Dallas Cowboys.
Thank you, Window Nation. Love Window Nation. I'm looking at my windows right now, and all I can think about is, man, I wish Window Nation would replace those windows. All right.
How about that brick wall behind you?
Say again?
How about that brick wall behind you?
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Do you like that? We painted that during COVID. We painted that during COVID. There's a lot of things we did.
That was a good bonding activity between you and your wife. Y'all painted it together? Did you get painted on each other?
Actually, you know what? She did it. She did most of it. She cleaned it.
So it wasn't a we, it was she.
Oh no!
You're trying to take credit for work now.
Time out.
Can't take credit for work.
There is no we. There's always a me in there. Or, you know, there's no Jennifer did that. I ended up doing if the project starts, you can bet I'm the relief pitcher coming in and out. You know, because I'm taller and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So yes, we did this. Thank you very much for noticing.
No paint on each other.
God, no. Oh my God. I got to tell you, this is a really funny story. So we were doing a project a couple weeks ago, and it was an oil-based paint, and the paint slipped out of my hands, and it went, thank God it was in the driveway, but the garage door was open, and the paint went everywhere. Like the can hit the ground, and it, like I said, it was an oil-based paint. So that was a nightmare. But thank you for asking, so I could relive that fun memory.
So you didn't get it on nobody. You just got it on the driveway.
Oh, no, it was over. It got on the car. It got on furniture in the garage. I mean, it was.
How'd you get off the car?
Well, we didn't. You can't. I mean, unless you want to repaint the car. The car's got 100 and some thousand miles on it. But
you
I mean,
you got a two-tone now car. Two-tone.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly. You can see a little white. You can see little white. It's a black car, and you can see if you look at it. Not that anybody cares. Like little white dots of paint on it. It wasn't a lot.
Almost like a basketball team.
Kind of, yeah, right. Except not as many. Well, and it's a bad team too. That's the problem. You know what I mean? All right. So let's return to the state of the Cowboys, and that is they do have a number 1 wide receiver. Who knew? CeeDee Lamb is alive. CeeDee Lamb, who was a little irritated after the loss to the 49ers, the little harumph pose there, wasn't talking to anybody. 7 catches for 117 yards against the Chargers. Clarence, should we expect this every Sunday or every game? I don't know, because they don't play on Sundays anymore. They play on every other day of the week. Should we expect this out of CeeDee Lamb the rest of the season? 7 for 117? 7 targets, not just 7 catches, 7. That is the height of efficiency. Should this be the norm?
I mean, I think he should be a big part of the offense every week. There's no game where he should be not getting 7 targets, you know, and be a big part of what they do. I mean, CeeDee is the best receiver on the team. He's number 1 receiver, one of the top 5, 10 receivers in the league. You know, depends on, you know, what the list looks like. But, you know, he's a big part of what they need to do. Especially, you know, he is not only 7 targets, 7 targets, 7 first downs.
Ooh.
All of them were for first downs.
That's
I mean, he's important to what he can't be covered. That's one of the, you know, again, you back to the 49ers game, they didn't really maximize opportunities in that 49ers game because the 49ers played them man to man. And when you get somebody playing you man to man, you need to throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb, not Michael Gallup. I think the flip side of the CeeDee conversation is why is Gallup getting so many targets? You know, and he's not getting open. And
that's a fair question. I mean,
he got 2 catches against the Chargers, but I think his targets were double CeeDee and Cooks, or his targets were CeeDee and Cooks combined.
Clarence, wait a minute, time out.
That makes no sense.
Wait, hang on. I want to ask you a question about Michael Gallup before I forget. Is he getting all these targets because defenses don't respect him and he just can't make the play? Or are they targets where it's a target in name only and the throw is not really there and the play really wasn't there? Because sometimes those statistics can be a little misleading, but I got to say,
no. He had 2 drops against the Chargers. He dropped a touchdown pass in the end zone. He was part of that in the first interception, the second interception Chargers when he let the guy cut him off on a slant. You know, he has to make a better play. I mean, I go back to his rookie year. I mean, there are too many times when on slants and plays like that when the ball ends up interception on the throw to Gallup. But you look at going back to, and again, I'm this is the first guess. I said it at the time. You don't let Amari Cooper go and pay Gallup. I don't care if Amari Cooper making $20 million a year.
If Amari Cooper takes the COVID shot, is he still on the team?
Yes, but even don't take the COVID shot. I mean, you're trying to win football games. You know, you don't let your money get mad. Jerry said, never let your money get mad. Well, don't let the shot get mad either. And you let the shot get mad, okay? Well, you know, what's best for the team? What's best moving forward? And you act like, you know, his $20 million salary like 15th now. You know, the cap was going up. Let's not get crazy about he's making and he's worked it. He's a number one receiver. He's a professional receiver. He's best for your offense. That set the team back last year. There's a chance they could have gone further last year. That receiver was awful last year.
But Cooper's gone, so now they've got to deal with what they've
got. I'm dealing with Gallup. I'm just saying this is part of the Gallup conversation.
Regarding Michael Gallup, we're seeing him he's not fighting for balls. He's not winning balls. I mean, I thought we thought there for a window of time he was over the injury that he had suffered there at the end of the 2021 season, I guess. And if he is, then this is more of an indictment. How close is he to losing his spot behind Jalen Tolbert, or even maybe Cooks is a different guy? Are they going to stick with him if this is going to keep up?
It's certainly something that needs to be figured out in the bye week, and whether you need to give Tolbert more snaps there. You know, he's certainly showing some potential, but he's never done anything as a receiver, and so. You know, but it's interesting to me that the Eagles went and traded and signed Julio Jones. I thought he would have been, you know, he's out there on the free. I know he's older, and the Cowboys really don't like dealing with older players, but it's about trying to win, you know. And I do think they missed that big body possession type receiver, certainly on the red zone and certainly on those slants. You know, this offense likes to throw those slants, and you need a bigger body there. I mean, you're throwing the small guys, you know, and so. If they don't fight for the ball, get tipped up, and they was turning interceptions all the time. But they need to figure out something with Gallup during this bye week for sure.
The Julio Jones thing, as much as I mean, he's going to get hurt. So that part of it I understand. But regarding Michael Gallup and Jalen Tolbert, you said Jalen Tolbert hadn't done anything yet. Well, that's true. But if they think his upside is better than Michael Gallup, is there any chance they would look at this situation like the old Parcells line? Don't get in the way of progress. Like, we got to move 13 out of the way to let this guy, because we think ultimately his ceiling is going to be a little bit higher and will help us later, even if he's not as good as 13 is right now, because we know what 13 is, and he's just not very good.
No, he's certainly not. But again, I understand you saying you got to show it. You know, you got to get an opportunity to show it and earn that opportunity. Not let's go give it to you. This guy's not working. I think that the one thing they know Gallup can block. They know Gallup's going to do some other things. Certainly they got Tolbert, you know, doing a lot of things on special teams. You know, so you know it's a weird dynamic there. I don't think it's a situation where you just want to elevate him over Gallup, but he has to earn his opportunities. But I think that he may get opportunities to earn those opportunities if Gallup continues to play as he does.
All right, let's move on. We are now through 6 games for the Cowboys. And where do you think they are in the NFC? I think 2 weeks ago, this answer would have sounded a lot different. 49ers lose. The Eagles lose to the Jets. Apparently, Zach Wilson now is the second coming of Joe Namath. Who knew? And now the Lions. I mean, like you called it before the season. I wasn't going to buy in on the Lions because they're always the Lions. But the Lions are 5-1. Clarence, it does look like there is a group of 4 in the NFC where there's your Super Bowl there's your Super Bowl team. Do you see anybody outside of the group of San Francisco, Detroit, Philly, and Dallas as a part of that group?
I would say Seattle.
Did you put Seattle in there? You think?
I think they're a good team. They're a well-coached team, and so they have some pieces. But outside of that, no. I mean, the NFC South is awful. You know, and the only team in the NFC North that's any good is the Lions, and certainly we got the NFC East with Philadelphia and Dallas, and in the NFC West you have, you know, the 49ers are the cream of the crop, but I think Seattle is feisty. That's a team that should contend. So or can't compete to contend. So that's the group. Whether you want to use that for it at Seattle or at least Seattle or not, I'm not going to argue with you. But I think it's there for the Cowboys. I think that, again, the Cowboys have as good a shot as anybody, and there's no great teams, and it's a long season, and people get hurt, and Purdy looked great against the Cowboys. He didn't have Debo. He didn't have Christian McCaffrey. He didn't look so great against a Cleveland team that was without their quarterback, and that's one thing that Michael got frustrated about. You're making excuses. Well, all the reasons the San Francisco 49ers lost is because they didn't have, because McCaffrey got hurt and Debo got hurt. Well, the Browns opened the game without Deshaun Watson. They were on their third quarterback. They lost their starting running back, their best player on the team, to injury, for the season a couple of weeks ago. So everybody has problems.
Well, and that's the one thing about when we look at these teams, and I don't know Detroit's team to sit here and speak on this to this level, but I said it.
They're biting kneecaps in Detroit, okay? That's all you need to know. They're biting kneecaps.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, we're all proud of Glen Rose, Texas, Dan Campbell.
I love him. Love Dan Campbell.
Love Dan Campbell, even though he's an Aggie, which is hard for you.
Listen, love him. And Aaron Glenn, the defense coordinator, is an
That's
Aggie.
right. Aaron will get a job.
They're great guys.
But Clarence, the one thing I after that 49ers loss for Dallas, I wrote it. I was like, this is going to change. Somebody's going to get hurt, and it's going to be cataclysmic for one of these four teams. And I don't know if any of these four teams. I know the gap was disgusting the other week between Dallas and San Francisco, but if you've got an injury or two, which is going to happen, we're only in October. We still got 2 months left of the regular season plus. I'm trying to figure out the team that's best suited to withstand a significant injury or two, and I don't know if any of them are. I honestly, I would probably say Dallas, only because Cooper Rush has had success as a starting quarterback. But to me, they look so much alike, and it's going to be 5 plays that separates them ultimately in January. I'm saying that here in October, and I feel 100% confident that any of these, when these teams, because these teams are going to play each other in January, that it's going to be 5 or 6 plays, and we're going to judge everything based on those 5 or 6 plays.
I don't know that, but that's the way the NFL wants it. It's a week-to-week league. They love it. Every game decided by one score less tight. That's why the NFL is king. I mean, because you really, there's no juggernauts. There's no dynasty right now. Everybody's competitive. Everybody has a chance to win. Everybody's fan base is excited. Let's play football.
All right. Well, we were playing football, but now we're going to play baseball. Clarence, it is Thursday at the time of this taping. This is the Cowboys bye week. And right now we have the Texas State title with on the line the right to go to the World Series, the very historic, rare, thrilling matchup between the Houston Astros and Arlington's Texas Rangers. Clarence, can you think of, and I went over this and I couldn't think of one, can you think of an in-state matchup of in-state pro teams that had this much weight on it before? The only one that I could think of was a Mavericks Spurs playoff series a couple times, were pretty big, but in terms of Houston and DFW, I can't think of anything bigger.
No, it's more about, it was the Mavericks Spurs, and then there was the Spurs in Houston, back in the day, that were pivotal. But the difference here is that San Antonio does not, it's not just the team, it's the cities.
Yeah.
But it's DFW against Houston. It's the two major markets, the two global cities. And listen, my family from San Antonio does not have what Dallas and Houston has to offer. And so beyond the sports teams, it's the fan bases, it's the cities. They compete for businesses, they compete for, we're the best city in Texas, and we're the cosmopolitan city in Texas, and we're the it city in Texas. And so when people, and I grew up in lifelong Texas, and most people, kids, when they grow up in small towns, they want to move to San Antonio or Houston. They want to move to the big city. So that's what this is all about. So it's just different than those San Antonio and Houston matchups or San Antonio and Dallas matchups in basketball. This is where it's at. And so, I've been having fun on Twitter with my friend. I mean, guy called me the other day and like, man, people in Houston are mad at you, man. I know you don't care. They're mad at you
because you're not a journalist.
Robbery
You're just one of those shock jock click guys.
Huh?
Because you're not a journalist. You're one of those shock jock click guys.
Well, on Twitter, I'm having fun. There's a difference, though. I don't, don't. I mean, judge my story. Don't judge my tweets like that. I remember.
No, I don't just judge you.
I have tweets. I like to have fun on Twitter, like I do fake show. I like to have fun and I like to engage. And I think too often, I always laugh because my colleagues are saying we got a lot of seam heads who only want to. I tweet football. I tweet stats. I tweet this.
Don't get me started on that.
And I don't interact with anybody. Twitter is an interactive medium, and you're supposed to interact with people, and that's what it's about. And so like I said, you follow me, you get all of me, and I have a lot of varied interest, and I'm a Texan, first of all, and I'm invested.
Well, wait a minute. No, if the Astros win this series, are you rooting for the Astros against?
Yes, I'm rooting for Dusty Baker. Yes, I am.
So you're a trash can guy.
I am. But what I'm saying
trash
is,
cans up.
Huh?
Get your
it's not even about that, and I get all of that, and that's a Texas Rangers thing. I'm from Texas. If you can just follow my Twitter, I keep track of Dallas and Houston in high school football.
I know.
I keep track of Dallas and Houston in high school basketball. Okay, me and Jerome and Solomon Coleman, we've been going back and forth. We covered high schools together when it was Kimball against Carter. And so I keep those things are important to me. So when I say I'm a Texan, it's about I like the rivalries in Texas and in Houston and Dallas. In high school football, they generally have the best team. You may get a team from Austin, may get a team from San Antonio that breaks through, but the state champs usually come from Houston, especially in the larger classifications. They come from Houston and Dallas, and it's a natural rivalry. Go back to the track.
Doesn't Dallas Fort Worth own the edge in terms of state championships in football?
Yeah, of lately, yeah. Dallas Fort Worth swept it. Like I keep trying to tell people, Dallas Fort Worth swept the top 4 classifications, 6A and 5A last year. Division 1, Division 2, and both of them swept Houston, in basketball the same way. They won the 5A title, they won the 6A title. And so, so I've been having fun with my Houston friends. My Dallas they got the better pro football team. They own y'all in college, in high school sports. They got the better, college, TSU is better than U of H. The only thing that Houston has had on and everybody, the Rockets got 2 titles. Well, that was back in the 90s. Lately, the Rockets have been in the lottery. Okay, they've been
Rockets
in the lottery. They've been in the lottery. The Mavericks have been a better team.
They had that one little burst under Chris Paul where they pushed the Warriors.
Yeah, that was years ago. That was Chris Paul's been like 5 years ago. He's been on 5 teams since then. Okay, he's been on 5 teams since then. Okay,
it's amazing to me. The guy's so good, and everybody can't wait to get rid of him because they can't stand him. Clarence, wait a minute. We're seeing now a series. This is 2-1. The Rangers went down to Houston and won the first 2 games of the American League Championship Series. No team has ever come back from an 0-2 deficit in the ALCS where they lost the first 2 games at home. And the Astros have never come back from an 0-2 deficit to win a series, ever. Now, they're in their 7th consecutive league championship series. Wow. That's an amazing, amazing run. I know the Rangers lost game 3. Game 4 is tonight at the mall. I'm kind of torn.
You're having fun with this mall stuff. It does look like, I don't know what it looks like, but you call it the Rangers. You call it a mall.
It is a mall. It's a shopping mall. You go inside, there's a baseball game, and you buy and drink a bunch of stuff. It's like a food court. And from what I understand, some people at the Rangers aren't happy about that because it's kind of from some people it's kind of sticking, just a few, not a lot. But so I am kind of torn. I think I'm like, there's no way the Astros, just statistically, there's no way they can do this again. So I'm betting on law of averages, like all dynasties end. They all do. And it's amazing. It's amazing what they've done in 7 years. And I know the cheater gate and garbage cans, and that does taint this to a lot of people. It's going to live forever, whether they want to or not. It's going to live forever. But I'm convinced that 7 years to do this again is just too much. And I'm playing law of averages. From what you've seen, do you think the Rangers are going to beat them?
I don't know because, like I said, I was with Dusty Baker, the Astros manager, last night, and Gary Pettis, his third base coach. And I went by the Astros hotel after the game, and they're confident. They think
Should be.
they got the Rangers where they want them, and they think that the pitching staff, the Rangers are certainly pitching Scherzer and the pitcher today. I think they think they have the edge. And it's funny because the Astros have been better on the road than home all season
by far.
So if they get these three in the middle on the road, then they're going back home. But yeah,
but they can't win at home.
They can't win.
Dusty Baker said, so Dusty, I want to say, Dusty.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever met anybody in sports as nice, as kind, and as humble as Dusty Baker. And when I was covering big league baseball back in 2001, I was really young, and he was managing the Giants, and I went in the clubhouse and I introduced myself. He didn't know me from a hole in the wall, and I took way too much of his time, and I was so stupid, and he couldn't have been any nicer. He just answered question after question. And I never forgot that. And when they won the World Series last year, and you saw it on Twitter, the amount of people who came out celebrating Houston's win for Dusty Baker.
Right.
And even when Jeff Bannister, the former Rangers manager, who's now the bench coach in Arizona, and Jeff and I are good, and Jeff was a finalist for the job when they were looking for a replacement for AJ Hinch when AJ was fired after the whole cheating thing. And it came down to Dusty and Jeff said, if I could, and he was really, Jeff is a Houstonian guy. He really wanted that job. He said, if I was going to lose that job to anybody,
right,
it's okay that it was Dusty. And so I'm torn. I want to see him do well because I'll never forget just that moment. I'm going to lean in on this one. I'm going to stay with law of averages. I think Texas is going to get them. I think Houston should be confident. They're a really, really good team. There's just something about Texas right now. Betting against their pitching is not a bad idea, but I just have this weird feeling. I just get this feeling it's their time.
And I think it's a good, just to piggyback on that, because I've been watching this, and certainly we've been talking about the Rangers, their collapse and their rise and their collapse, and
right,
all off season. Now they're playing so well. I think it's a great lesson for the Cowboys, and about winning. It's not what this is. Brady James said this a long time. I don't know if I said this on this show, this show, or not in the past, but he said this is a rookie when he was replacing somebody. And it's NFL, it's pro football. It's not wait your turn, okay? It's not. And so the same thing, and we get so caught up in the Cowboys. Well, they won this round. Can they get to the next round? Get to the next round. There's really no succession order. There's no order to winning a time. There's no order to being a champion. You just seize it. Okay?
Yeah, there kind of is in the NBA. There's this.
It has been.
Yeah.
But yes, but you
go get it.
But great players seize it. They seize the opportunities. I mean, if there was really an order, Chris Paul would have won by now. You know what I'm saying? Either you're a winner or you're not. Like things happen for you, and so this is a perfect example of coming to the season. No one expected this, but the Rangers went out and seized it, and the Cowboys have to seize it when it's time to show up. Make plays, and that's what the Rangers have done in the playoffs. The fact that they hadn't lost until yesterday.
That's amazing.
They were due for a loss, but they played their best ball when it matters most. And so you talk about the law of averages. They've been playing well. You should lean on that. It's going to be. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be sweeping. You're not supposed to sweep everybody out the playoffs.
No,
a 7-time champion or 7-time. ALCS member, the team, that's not going to happen. But continue to rely on what got you here and make it happen.
Well, after the game last night, I asked Jonah Heim, the catcher. I said, "Is this weird at all?" I said, "You guys haven't lost in a couple of weeks. Does this feel weird?" He said, "No, we've lost before." So I think we did, and you certainly just get used to it. Like, oh, they'll go out and win again. Well, no, they're not. They're going to lose. And it's one of the things I love about the playoffs in hockey, basketball, and baseball. Whoever won the last game, they're going to win them all, right?
Oh, no, everybody feels good. Right? You feel good. The momentum's on my side now. So again, as I said, the Astros really feel they have the momentum right now. They really feel good about their position, even though they're still down 2-1.
Down
And so
2-1.
we'll see.
Right. All right, Clarence, this has been fun. Cowboys are off this week. The Rangers are not. Game 4 of the ALCS is tonight in Arlington. Game 5 is tomorrow afternoon in Arlington. Who knows? Maybe the roof will be open. Get your Creed music now. Clarence, have a great weekend. For all of your Cowboys and Rangers coverage needs, check us out on StarTelegram.com. He's Clarence Hill. I'm Mac Engel. Thank you, Candy. Bye.